Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? It's me, Mr. 4K Upscaler. You know, I know about this whole downgrade thing. I'm aware of what's going on with the Spider-Man. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about this and just where we are as a gaming community right now at this point. First, let me give you a little background about me. As you can see, I'm old. I'm 40 years old. So I have been around. I have played console gaming since Atari. Okay, since 7000 series Atari. I played Commodore 64. I played Spectrum Sinclair, Spectrum ZX. Okay, Amiga 500. List goes on and on. Super Nintendo, Genesis, etc., 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 etc. Okay, including the my first IBM computer. Guys, for 4 decades, I played it all. Okay. And yes, I can call myself a gamer because I've been through the whole evolution of gaming. I'm not saying this to brag about it. This is just a fact. I lived throughout a gaming evolution. This is before some of you even existed. Okay. Okay. So, having said that, you understand that it's coming from a gamer point of view. So let's talk about Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man. Even though, yes, my channel is dedicated for visuals, 4K resolution, enhancements, rendering, high dynamic range, Dolby Vision, televisions, stuff like that. So yes, to some degree, I do care about rendering. I do care about high dynamic range. I do care about much more enhanced graphics. You know, it's not like I don't care about that. Of course I do care about that. If you can give me a game that has a great performance, gameplay, enhanced graphics, and high resolution with the HDR, then yeah, of course I'm gonna appreciate that. Who's not going to appreciate that? Of course I'm going to appreciate that. But we have to ask ourselves, what's more important to you? Would you rather play Spider-Man with all of the eye candy, like all of the eye candy? Let's say hypothetically had the ray tracing on there. Hypothetically, there's a ray tracing from RTX on the Spider-Man. Hypothetically. But it was running at 18 frames per second to 20 frames per second to 15 frames per second. Would you rather have that eye candy, or would you rather have a 60 frames per second or 30 frames per second performance? What would you prefer? What I'm trying to tell you, basically, to me, what matters the most is the gameplay, number one, and the performance. Why do we play the video games? Okay, here's the question you got to ask yourself. If you are getting into gaming simply because of visuals, and that's all you care about, is just the visuals aspect of it, then you're not a gamer. You're into a wrong business. I'm just telling you right now, you are in the wrong career. Okay? That's not what it's all about. You know, visuals, it's something that matters. You could say in the movies, all right? In the 4K HDR movies, that matters because it's a movie. It's a running movie. So you want the best possible quality when you're watching that movie. So for that, yes, I can see that being a case in a movie. Okay? But when it comes to video games, that's not the case. Video games are interactive. What's so cool about the video games is the fact that they are interactive, that you can use a controller and you can play that game. You can be this character, Spidey, okay, even though it's a fictional character, but still you can enjoy being this fictional superhero from the comic book, okay? And what the Insomniac has brought us here, it's a very cool character from the Marvel. They worked really hard with the Marvel for 2 years. They spoke to the Marvel Studios and Stan Lee and everybody. They all approved with this approach to give their own version of Spider-Man that has nothing to do with the movie, and it's just its own comic book interpretation into the video game. But what's cool about it is the gameplay. It's kind of an open world. It's not like a Grand Theft Auto open world. It's a limited open world within the city, but there's a lot of stuff you can do. You can walk inside a building, go up through the elevator shafts. You can check certain areas. You can do side missions. It has kind of a limited open world, but the fact that you can actually do that you have that type of a gameplay as a Spider-Man where you don't necessarily have to do the missions, you can do the side missions, you can do other things, that brings the gameplay value to me, okay? But the problem these days is people don't even seem to look at that. The first thing they look at is, how's the graphics? Are the graphics eye candy? Did they downgrade something? And everybody was complaining that the new screenshots were showing the fact that the puddles and the reflections that were there and the higher textures that were there, they were not present in the new screenshots. Well, that's because in 2017, when they first showed the trailer, that was a trailer in development, okay? They were testing it. They were testing to see what type of frame rate they can get. Can they go with this frame rate, with this kind of eye candy and these kind of like graphical enhancements, or do they have to keep it downgraded to a certain locked frame rate? So of course things are due to change. Just like when you watch the Cyberpunk 2077 trailer gameplay, that whole thing could change whenever the game comes out. It could be a totally different game when it comes out, and you're going to say, what happened to this level? Well, that's because it's in development. Even the guy who's doing the commentary is letting you know these things could change. A lot of stuff could be cut. They could change because it's in development. Okay? Just like when they're making a movie. There's a lot of scenes they cut because they want to put the movie together for a theatrical version. All right? And then there's a director's cut. So same thing here. Things do change. All right? And the reason I'm showing you this trailer because I want to show you that this is from 2017. Okay? This is a trailer from 2017. So yes, the game's not going to look like this. It's not going to be eye candy like this because it was specifically made for a trailer. All right? But it's about the gameplay, people, man. It's not so much about the 4K and HDR. Even if it's running at 1440p and HDR, that's still pretty darn good. For a game like this, even if it's running on a QHD upscale to 4K, with HDR, that's still going to look pretty darn good, man. With this game, you know, it's still going to look great. It's still, the details still going to show up. All right, and this engine that they're using is going to show up and pop. But at the end of the day, you're going to be so immersed into the gameplay, spinning around, webbing through different buildings here and there, going to different avenues, climbing up to rooftops. You're going to be more immersed into a gameplay because you're not going to even have time to look at the puddle. You're not going to even care about the puddle. You don't even care about, like, oh, is there a puddle there? You're not going to even notice it because you're going to be so immersed into a gameplay. When I was playing The Witcher, even with the ultra settings on my PC, I didn't have time to just stand there and look at, oh, look at that foliage. My God, look at that foliage. That foliage looks beautiful. I didn't have time to look at that. Why? Because I was too busy immersed with the gameplay. So it really kind of drives me crazy that people are so obsessed about a graphics and resolution. And this is coming from a guy whose entire channel it's dedicated for 4K and HDR. Yes, I'm excited about Shadow of a Tomb Raider and the fact that Xbox One X can push that resolution and HDR. But that's because Xbox One X, it's a more powerful console. And I'm pretty sure that the Xbox and Microsoft worked with Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics to actually make the Xbox version a bit better. Okay? You guys keep forgetting that the Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, was first exclusive to the Xbox when it was first released. It was not exclusive to the PlayStation. So I'm sure they have some partnership with them. And yes, the Xbox, listen, the Xbox One X version is going to look the best when the game gets released next week, September 11th. If you pre-order the whatever, the Legendary or Laura edition or Tomb Raider edition, you will be able to play it 2 days early. And yes, the Xbox One X version will look the best. Even Digital Foundry got an early copy of the game, finished game, and they say yes, the Xbox One X version runs even better than the PC version, because the Xbox One X version, they put a lot of effort and time learning about the hardware, building it on that hardware, so therefore that game will look the best on the Xbox One X version. That's just the way it is. Okay, but it's not about that. At the end of the day, if Tomb Raider, if the Shadow of the Tomb Raider doesn't have a good story, doesn't have a good gameplay, and it's not immersive, I don't care how realistic it looks. I don't care if it's a 24K with a Dolby Vision Extreme or whatever. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, is game fun? Is the game fun? Are you gonna enjoy it? If you're not gonna enjoy that game, if it's not fun, the graphics and all the bells and whistles that it has, it doesn't mean a damn thing. It doesn't mean anything. What it means is the gameplay, and is it fun? I'll give you one example. The Metal Gear, the original Metal Gear. I still play it from time to time, even after all these years, even after 2 decades, 2.5 decades. I still play it. You know why? Because it's fun. It's a fun game. It's an immersive game. So what I'm trying to say on this video is, guys, don't worry so much about, you know, the whole puddle thing. Doesn't have a puddle, has a puddle. The textures are a little bit bland. You're gonna forget about all of that come Friday. Come Friday, you won't even, I guarantee you, I swear to God, right on this video, as God is my witness, on Friday, mark my words, on September 7th, nobody will even mention the puddles. All of those puddles clickbaiters, they're just making videos just to clickbait, to get the views. They won't even mention it. The same people who complain about it on the Reddit and everywhere, they won't even mention it. They will praise the game. Okay? So that's why I'm making this video, just to give you my opinions and thoughts. Alright? Because people have been bugging me about this. Oh man, did you hear? Did you hear? Reddit? I hate Reddit. It's a trash dump of garbage in there. People, whatever farts through their mouths, they type. And then majority of people believe it. Okay? So I freaking hate Reddit. So everyone, you guys need to calm down. Spider-Man is going to be awesome. It's going to get a great score. Okay? Probably 9.5 out of 10 or something like that with IGN. A GameSpot probably will give it 9.3 out of 10. But all across the board will get really great scores. High scores. And of course, it's going to sell a lot of copies. And then on September 12th, September 13th, Phil Spencer will congratulate Insomniac. They will congratulate Sony for a successful launch of the game, etc., etc., etc. Okay, there you have it. You're Mr. 4K Prophet. Just told you the whole thing. All right, you're a modern prophet. Just kidding. Okay, I'm not a modern prophet. But what I do have, it's logic. Common sense. Okay, like I can tell some things because I do this thing called thinking. Rational, logical thinking. It's what I do. All right, that's how I can sometimes I can tell you where it's gonna go. All right, so there you have it, guys. This is my opinion. The game's gonna be great. Don't worry about it. Go pick it up, because I know you will pick it up. All right, even the Puddle fanboys will pick it up as well. All right, people who complain about the Puddle, not only will they buy the game, but they're going to buy that expensive edition as well. They probably have it pre-ordered as we speak. All right. Or they already had pre-ordered the game. Okay. So I'm not worried about the puddle. I'm not worried about that nonsense. I'm gonna enjoy this game. I'm gonna have a bunch of fun time doing tests on it on my TVs, and I'm also gonna do some live stream on Friday. Now, I understand if you guys don't want to show up to my live stream on Friday. I totally understand because you don't want the game to be spoiled. I totally get that. But I'll first commit myself to making videos in 4K to give you the difference between TCL R617, Sony X900E, and even KS8000. And just to show you how the game looks, how on both of these televisions, and do some tests. Well, there you have it. That's my opinion, and that's how I feel about this whole new trend that's going to last for maybe a few days. And then once the game is released, no one will talk about the puddles. You won't even be able to find a puddle on the Google. No one will even mention it. Okay, there you have it. This is how I feel. Remember, these are my opinions. Okay, you don't have to agree with them. You don't have to like my opinions, but I think politely you can disagree with them if you want. There you go. There you have it. Take care, guys. Have a good one, though. Enjoy the game. Coming out this Friday. It's going to be a lot of fun. Take care.